Alex, amongst other Hull fans, says, sadly, I think it's now too late. The players have had plenty of chances to social fight and keep us up. We are heading into the final day of the season, and all eyes are now on Fratton Park. Can Hull survive at one of the most difficult grounds away from home to pick up points from? We've got Matty, Jack, and Ben to give us their view on why Hull are in this position in the first place. Thank you so much for joining us on what is going to be quite an emotional Where Tigers Walk. Right, Matty. Frustration, anger, resigned to relegation. How are you? How are you this week?
Yeah, all of them, to be honest, Mark. I think after the game, I was absolutely furious, to be honest. I think an absolutely spineless performance from the players, spineless from the manager. Played for a draw. We got what we deserved. Players, no fight in them, no, determination to go and change the game. Just nothing. Absolutely no fight. We are going down with a whimper, and I'm sorry to say it. I mean, I know lots of people are optimistic about next week. There is absolutely no chance we are going to get a result at Portsmouth next week. So, and this is totally on the players. It's just the shambles of a club at the moment. I know since the international break, it's been an absolute shambles, and there's I feel sorry for us. I feel sorry for the fans. Another sellout on Saturday, and we got behind the team. All this rubbish about one team all coming together. Well, I'm sorry, we saw nothing from the team, nothing from Sellers, and Adjun's to blame as well for this. It's totally the club's fault.
Cheers, Matty. Jack.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning we've sorted out Fratton Park as well, so
they don't deserve it. They don't honestly don't deserve it.
I mean, that's I don't know how many miles it is. I know it's about 6 hours at least, or maybe more, depending on traffic and all that. But and it's not. I don't think it's in our hands at the moment. I mean, if we win and then they win, but we have, but no,
it's not in your hands at all.
No, no. I'm just looking at it now. It's just completely flipped from last week. We was in a brilliant position. All we needed was a point or 3 points from that, and now if we win, lose, or draw, it doesn't really matter. It just depends on the other team. So it's frustrating. It's a bit depressing, and still haven't really gotten over the fact that we've just blown it away. We've bottled it, but we bottle it all the time. I did say it. I did say, and now it has to go down. Now it has to go down to the wire. I'm just trying to find words for him at the moment, but there is nothing to say other than that it was just poor. It was just no determination. I mean, Preston, they showed more fight in Preston, and that wasn't really the most important game. So I think Derby was more important. Amrabat came around the pitch and started getting the fans going. There was none of that on Saturday. There's completely just detached from the fans, detached from what they was doing, and it was just all over the place. There's a couple of players who didn't really show anything. Yes, we had a bit of a poor start losing Slater, but again, we have to face these setbacks, and it's just the way we respond to the game. It was just absolutely dreadful. So they deserve no credit. I mean, everyone left at the end of the game. I don't even think they did a appreciation clap at the end, which just again shows how detached they are from us. So I think they deserve all this criticism that they're getting from us, and they can't bury their heads in the sand. The only thing they can do now is go to Fratton Park and just fight and hope for the best. But who knows? I don't think that's going to happen.
Cheers, Jack. Ben, it's inexcusable that players who pick up a salary can put in this performance, and it leads fans to question whether something has gone on behind the scenes for this kind of thing to happen. Now, there is a rumor going around on social media, which I think you pointed out, so you won't be able to read this, but it's from a Hull City forum that says if we go down, the squad will be absolutely decimated no matter what league we end up in. Some members of the squad have already been told to find clubs during the last international break, which of course is an absolute suicidal way to do things when staring the barrel of the gun. which usually happens in clubs, doesn't it? When you know you're not going to be used next season, you know some players will be told, look, you're not being used this season, go find yourself another new club. But it sounds as if this has been done on perhaps a larger scale. Now, putting those two things together might explain to some fans why we've seen this drop off. Because don't forget, I showed you those fixtures. You had the easiest run in of any club down at the bottom there. You beat Sheffield United away. You beat Sheffield Wednesday away, beating Preston at home, and yet it has just been the month. This last 4 games has been shocking. Any truth in what we've just gone through? What do you put it down to?
I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that was along the lines of what has happened. I think it has almost been effectively radio silence this season from Atchun. We've not had any of those press conferences. We've not had anything, because sometimes last season he'd come out and make a post about how we were doing, but we've not had anything at all in the form of that, apart from obviously when Tim Volter was sacked and Sayers was brought in, and that's been it. Yeah, I think if that is the case, then I mean, it's not really an excuse though, because I think they've still got to perform. I know that might be the way it's gone, and the players will obviously be a bit like, oh, well, I can't be bothered anymore. But the ones that are here, the ones that are not guaranteed to stay, but the ones you'd think would stay, have still got to put a shift in, and I can't really say a lot of them have done, to be honest. And I think it showed in the last game against Derby. It was just so that there was no urgency to go and score. We had 15 shots and we had 2 on target. And Derby score in the 84th minute. We bring on subs with 3 minutes to go. It's just the way that the last few games have gone. I know we beat Preston and we had a good second half performance, but yeah, it's just so utterly disappointing the way that the last few games have gone. And especially, like you said, after the last international break, it's been such a downhill slide. Obviously, we did have the result against Sheffield Wednesday, but the result kind of masked a pretty average display, in all honesty. So yeah, I mean, I think if those rumours were true, it wouldn't surprise me, because that is something I could probably see Atchun doing, and I think they could potentially be what has happened and what's caused the team to just sort of fall apart, essentially.
I mean, if there's any positivity here, Matt, you are away from home where you've been far better. The MKM, to be honest, I actually trust you to beat Portsmouth at Fratton Park more than I would the MKM, if I'm all, in all honesty. I want to ask you about Sellers, though, as Ben rightly pointed out, he's been without criticism. James says, I was willing to give Sayers a chance. He lost me today in the second half with substitutions and his post-match interview. He wasn't the right choice for a relegation-threatened team. Another in the long line of cluster mess-ups. He needs to go regardless of the division. If you do survive, does he get the shop?
I think I'm now in the camp of he's got to go. He's got to go, because he is the root of the problem as well. Because obviously Saturday we played for a draw. We played for a draw, thinking we would get a point against a poor Derby team, and there was no 2 poor teams, really poor teams. So he's the one who sets the team up to go out and thingy. Surely the motivation for Saturday was go out, win the game, play like we did second half against Preston, go out, win the game, and then, it's taken out of our hands and we don't have to worry. We can have a nice trip out to thingy. So for me, I'm airing now. Ben said that the substitutions wrong. They should have come on earlier. It wasn't working the whole game. It wasn't, and I don't know what did they work on during the week, because set pieces are atrocious. I've never seen us miss that first man at the near post. So that's something they clearly haven't worked on. They haven't worked on attacking play. people pick it up in the middle of the park. Alzate had it on Saturday, and Alzate was awful, absolutely awful performance from him. He played it to Coyle. Coyle had it, and Kamara ran all the way up the pitch. Joseph ran all the way up the pitch. Nobody wanted it, so I don't know what they're working on. We're not difficult to beat. And again, another cross. We've conceded from another cross. Surely that's what we should have been working on all week, is defending crosses. Obviously, Derby are going to come. They're renowned for being a physical team. Have scored a lot of set pieces. That's 2 goals from crosses that we've conceded against Derby. How many goals have we conceded from crosses this season? So I'm sorry, he's not getting it right. He's not getting the tactics right. We're getting bullied in midfield now because we've only got 2 in centre midfield. Most other teams are setting up with 3 in midfield. We're getting overrun in there. So we're just. For me, he's got to go. He might, if he keeps us up, get the benefit of a clean slate to say he can bring in his players. But the players that we've brought in, there's an exception for a few. The players that were brought in January, they just need to go because they've been absolutely useless. This season has been an absolute disaster from day one, and that the book lies with Adrian. I'm afraid. I know I'm an advocate for him the club, but it's just and like Ben says, this doesn't surprise me. What's happened? It is an absolute car crash, and it's ridiculous. So Sellers for me, he's walking a tightrope here.
Cheers, Matty. Jack Ashton was the one most fans went straight to in terms of putting the blame squarely at his door. I could have literally put 200 different tweets out for this one. Key sums it up there. Says, you wanted Premier League football. You sacked an English manager who helped us finish 7th. You sack him, and you hire some DS bottle job of a Bundesliga 2 who decided to guide us down the table, and then you sack him and hire another sack of, Ashton doesn't give a crap about fans or the club. Given that Sellers has had enough time to save Hull from this position and arguably better quality players than some other teams have got, is it fair to put this all at his door?
I mean, I always say the recruitment team and the people helping him out just seem to be absolutely clueless as well. So it is them, but then Adrian's one who makes the decisions, so it's up to him. But I was going to say, this is the 3rd time he's got a manager wrong. I mean, you had Shotta, Avaladze, he was a complete waste of time. The only good manager was William Messina, and then he made a mistake of sacking him. Then he got Tim Walter, and to be fair, we trusted him for a little bit, then it started going downhill. And then we got Sellers, and then we trusted him, and now look, it's just completely gone downhill again. So he's making mistakes. He's the one who's at fault for it. So I do think he needs to start taking some responsibility, and he needs to speak out to the fans. Otherwise, inevitably the fan base will turn toxic, and there'll be some sort of protest. There'll be something. If he just keeps quiet, then obviously, it's going to go very bad. But if he communicates with the fans, if he accepts fault and he does something about it, which I don't know what he can do about it at the moment, other than probably seeing the end of the season, then starting again. But how long are we going to keep being a Hull side who's just going down and up and down? It's getting quite tedious. It's getting ridiculous. We deserve better. Yes, he raked in 20,000+ fans a week, but that was because it was good football under Messina, and now we're expecting more, and it's just given us a complete opposite. So yeah, Adrian is to blame at the moment. I know I said I didn't want to point fingers at him, but you just got to look at it now and think, yeah, he's not really bothered at the moment. He's obviously got, I don't want to hint, but he's got other priorities at the moment. And I haven't really seen him present in the box for a while. He made a quick exit after the game on Saturday, which I was looking at the boxes. It was empty, so it's sad times. But hopefully we can just something will happen here.
But say, Matt, sorry on that. I think Jack's right. I think if you look at when Walter was sacked, and we looked at all those managers that were on that shortlist, and Sellers wasn't on there. And I think we were all pretty pleased when Sellers was thinking, but look at all those managers that are on there now and what they've done. Alex Neil, I mean, how good has he done at Millwall? They're now in the chance of the playoff. Robbins has kept Stoke up. Eustace has kept doing wonders at Derby. We needed that championship experience, and we didn't get it. And I'm one that I was happy with Sellers because I thought, he'd be a good young manager. He might be good in League One, but he's not done it in the Championship. So I think Adrian is to blame on this. I think he's as culpable as anybody else on that.
I think I could go back to a video where we asked you about Lampard, and all of you said laughed at me. Yeah. Anyway. Right, there is a route out of this mess, and I'm going to give it to you in a second because I do speak to, of course, all the other 23 clubs. So there are other fan bases that are equally worried, and there is a mathematical route out of it. Let's just talk about Alfie Jones though first, if that's okay, Ben. Now, we don't like scapegoats on here, but it's very clear that after Coyle, Hull fans have got found their scapegoat, particularly for this one. Alex here says, "Look at Alfie Jones." For Derby's goal yesterday. Other fans saying for 10 minutes we went forward and the crowd were up. Then we settled in, played deep, slowed it down. It killed everything. Alfie Jones has been the biggest scapegoat this season. They all slow it down, not just him. They're told to do so, and it is shocking. So where do we stand then, Ben? I mean, without Greaves as a neutral, he looks a bit lost and powder puff this season. I don't know if it was a partnership that was strong. Where do you stand on your man?
I think it is fair to say that he does get scapegoated quite often, but I think it is also fair to say that he was terrible on Saturday. He gave away the free kick that they ended up scoring from, as you saw by that screenshot as well. He was just in no man's land watching the ball float over him and then got headed in at the back post. In terms of a cameo, that was probably up there with one of the worst we've seen this season. But I think that's just the way that City fans are. Will scapegoat a player that's had a poor performance, and then not saying that that's the reason why they continue to play poorly, but they might see something like that and have another poor game, and then we just hit on them without giving them a second chance to prove themselves. But I think Alfie Jones was poor on Saturday, and it's I think it is unfair to scapegoat him because a lot of the time, even when he wasn't even on the pitch, we just slowed it down for no reason when there was an opportunity to play forward quicker. A lot of the time it would be a sideways pass and then you'd play it forward, where the way to do it is you miss out that extra pass, play it forward, and you're further up the pitch so much faster. But yeah, a lot of the time it'd be Hughes to Egan or Egan to Coyle, and then the next pass where we should have done Hughes to Kamara, Hughes to Joseph, Hughes to Amrabat, just to get ourselves up the pitch quicker and have that bit of extra urgency, because that's what we didn't show realistically. There was a few times when we did have a bit of urgency and a bit of pace to the attacks, but it just wasn't enough. Clearly it wasn't enough because we ended up losing the game and we didn't make the most of the chances we had, because I don't think it was a poor performance in all honesty, but we just didn't play well enough to win the game, which is what we should have been doing, because everyone knew the repercussions of losing that game. The fans, even like the players after last game, were like, oh, we need that atmosphere again. We're going to play to win the game. All of the interviews before the game were just hyping up so much, and then just a disappointment. And I think Alfie Jones is obviously going to be the scapegoat, but I think a lot of the players on Saturday just weren't up to it. And it's evident to see that quite a few of them might be ready to just take their holiday to Dubai and find somewhere else and watch us sail off into League One. So yeah, it's a really tricky situation to pin the blame on one person on Saturday. But I mean, I can understand why it was Jones, but I think a lot of them were quite poor, in fairness to him.
Well, we can't have Port Vale versus Hull City as a fixture. It just doesn't sit true. Right, here's your route out of it then. It starts actually tomorrow night, because tomorrow night Leeds need to beat Bristol City to help Hull stay up. If Leeds beat Bristol City, that means on Saturday, Bristol City will need to go hell for leather and beat Preston North End. If they do that, all you need is a draw and you stay up and Preston will go down. Now that's my only. You're not beating Portsmouth, I don't think. Now my only worry to that is speaking to the Portsmouth fans earlier on the Portsmouth podcast. Is Abu Kamara has given Portsmouth and their fan base a reason to send you guys down. Otherwise, they wouldn't be bothered. So they aren't going to take the foot off the gas. Fratton Park is going to be like a party carnival atmosphere. It's sold out already, and I'm afraid they are determined to send you down.
So there is no route out then. It's what you're saying.
Well, yeah, I would keep it tight, and I can just see it now. Bristol City will be winning 2-0, right? Preston will be down. It'll be 0-0 at Fratton Park. And 10 minutes to go. And you can just feel it, can't you? If Portsmouth score, it'll be a case of you hang on and you're safe, and then something will happen. Fingers crossed it doesn't. Obviously, I'm a neutral. I don't want to lose anyone. But, yeah. That's the only way out I can see. Any other routes you can see, Matty?
I can't. I honestly can't. I can't see us even drawing. I just can't even see us getting a result down at Portsmouth. I just think we after that, they owe us a massive performance on Saturday, but we're likely to go and stay up on goal difference. Is the only kind of, I suppose, positive. But we can't approach the game like we did Saturday and just go expecting to draw and then rely on other people. We need to go and win, and just take ourselves out of it. But I honestly can't see how, on the back of the last 5 performances, how we are going to drastically improve from the last 5 performances to put in our best performance of the season, because I just can't see how that's going to happen. And I don't even think changing the personnel, bringing in different players, is going to change that. I honestly don't think they've got it in them to do it. I just don't think they care enough, and it is absolutely heartbreaking. It is, because I'm sure us three here would quite willingly don the black and amber on Saturday and give it 5 minutes of our best performance of the season just to make sure we stay up. But I just can't. I honestly can't see it. So
we'll keep positive. Preston have won 1 in 12. They've got their keeper out. They've got injuries left, right, and centre. The fans are ready to rebel. It is not a happy place there, and they're awful. So you can only hope. You can only hope.
But then that's relying on us getting a point, and do they really want it? I don't know. It would be amazing. It would be one of the the best or greatest escapes ever. But it'll be us goal difference, won't it? It'll be goal difference. It'll come down to goal difference, probably.
I think it will. And your goal difference is great.
Yeah. Not that great.
We haven't factored Luton into it, of course. There as either. I mean, they've got to get a result at West Brom as well, which but they are in some form, like you say. Right, cheers for that. Then let's just move on very quickly to other discussion points. If that's okay. Then we're talking about this summer. We're actually talking about away kits. What colour away kit would you like? This was some jovial, mundane chat rather than this doom and gloom. Jack, what colour would we like our next away kit, or what would you like to see on the home kit as well?
Well, the home kits are usually just standard black and amber stripes. There's nothing very much.
Not orange.
No.
Nothing much you can do about that. But away shirts, I really did like the design of the away shirt this season. It's the only one I got from this season. I'm not one for design and fashion and shirts. I just buy the best one I see. So,
what colour should it be?
I guess I like the white one. I don't know why I like the white. So if it can just be based on the white shirt and just a good design like the one last season, I'll be happy with that, and I'll probably buy that.
Oh, Ben?
I think I'm the same. I really did like the white one this season. it's been a while since we've had a white one as well, and it was a nice change. I don't see the point in us having an all amber away kit or third kit because it's essentially just like the home kit. But yeah, I think for a home kit, maybe like a retro one would be nice. Maybe that'll build up some funds that we can use in League One. But yeah, I think a white kit or like a bright colour is usually quite nice. Maybe not that purple one behind because that has some quite negative connotations. But yeah, something like that. I think the white one this season was really nice.
Okay, Matty.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because I don't think we've hardly worn the white one, have we? We've always, and I do actually really like the all amber one. I think it's quite good, but like you say, I don't see the point of it, to be honest. So unless it's like amber, like a prison outfit, because that's what we'll probably need. They'll probably need to be sent to like an orange jumpsuit or something like that, probably. Or black and white stripes like a burglar, because that's if we get out of this, that's what we'll need, something like that. But yeah, probably they brought back the green retro one into this season. The green might be a bit different, something a bit different. I like the black, the whole one that we had this year, the centenary one. Sorry, so that was decent, but you can't go well white. White's pretty good.
As long as it's got that championship badge on the
yes,
on
please.
the sleeve. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Finally, this week it is the last away trip, of course, and so many of you have done so many away trips. I mean, Hull have been quite, I think, well supported on the road this season, given the distances you guys travel as well. What's been your favourite away trip, Jack? You've done a few of these yourself. Which one did you enjoy?
I wanted to go to a few more, but there's two, and it's both the Sheffields. I just can't really decide. I mean, Sheffield United was the underdogs, and it was just a brilliant win. Do you know what? It was a great performance as well. So I think Sheffield Wednesday has the best moment, but the overall performance was quite poor. So it's going to have to be the Sheffield United away. It was just absolutely amazing scenes, and it was just totally unexpected. So the excitement was greater. So yeah.
I remember that game as a Friday night. I think I watched that one myself, Matty.
Well, I'm actually quite look forward to going to Stevenage or an away game at Exeter. That sounds exciting. So I think for me, I think those mentions there, I think probably I think the atmosphere at Sunderland was unbelievable, and I for one thought that was the game. Yeah, we looked pretty good, and I think the injury to Barry was unfortunate, but it was that. It's just night and day in it from that performance. They showed determination, grit. They got stuck in. They defended for their lives and stuff. It seems like years ago that. So yeah, I'd go for Sunderland. I think it was a really good performance, and defensively we looked really good.
See, you can do it. Look, you're all smiling again. You're remembering you can do this away from home, Ben.
I think performance-wise, mine would be Sheffield United, but I didn't go to that, unfortunately. I really regret not going to that one. But in terms of the moment, it would be pretty much like Jack said, Sheffield Wednesday, because a 94th minute winner, you just cannot get anything like that. And when it happens for you, it is such an amazing feeling. I remember jumping on top of my dad in the away end, and yeah, it was just absolutely mental. I think for the one that I've been to, obviously I'm going to go with Sheffield Wednesday, but like I said, the performance against Sheffield United was one of the best I think we've had this season.
Okay. Right, that brings us to the end of this episode. By the time we meet you next, either one or two things will happen. The Tigers will be safe and we'll all be breathing a huge sigh of relief. We'll all be looking out how to get to Port Vale. Good luck. We'll keep our fingers crossed. It's gonna have to be live on Sky, this game. There's no doubt it can't not be one of the live games. So we'll certainly be watching and tuning it in. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck. I'll say enjoy it, but I know you won't. See you next week.